Hello and welcome to another episode of Retrospective Gaming. In this episode we'll be covering a very unique one-of-a-kind game called Psychonauts. Now I played this game 6 months after it came out, and that was a while ago, almost a decade. And since replaying it, I have really enjoyed the game, and I was really excited to bring this episode out to you guys. So let's get started with Psychonauts. The story begins with Rasputin Aquato, Raz being short, at a summer camp for psychics in training. Now Raz's biggest dream is to become a psychonaut, and he comes from a humble background in the circus, so that makes him very acrobatic. Everything is going pretty good until Raz discovers that the children at the camp, their brains are being stolen. Yes, that's right, they're being stolen, and the kids are reduced to nothing more than zombies who say TV. And all the adults have mysteriously disappeared, and it is up to Raz, with the help of one adult, Ford Cruller, one of the best secret agents that the Psychonauts ever had, to discover what is going on and who's behind all this madness. Now the story is very great, and on top of that, it is very unique. I mean, the biggest thing for me is the aspect of you jumping into people's brains. Yes, levels consist of you going inside people's brains and discovering what's going on in their head, their psyche. And it is nuts. I'll tell you, without spoiling much, my favorite level in the game is a level called the Milkman Conspiracy. And to make it short, basically you go inside this guard's head, and he is a lunatic and very paranoid. And when you go inside of his head, the world that is inside his head in the level is very freaking creepy. It is a demented version of suburbia. It's a suburb, but everyone is spying on you. People are taking pictures of you. The squirrels are taking pictures of you. Everyone's paranoid. Nobody wants you to come inside their house. And there's a whole bunch of G-men running around. And if you go into the wrong area without the correct item, they will snatch you up. Paranoia at its finest. And it makes for a great level. I love all the levels in this game. One of them even made me think I was tripping on LSD, how crazy it was. And that's where Psychonauts shines the greatest, is in its story. It is weird. It is odd. And I know what some of you are thinking, that this is just a kiddie game. Well, yes, the main character is a kid. But this game also deals with some mature themes. And I think the biggest theme that goes on in this game is basically personal demons. Because when you go inside these people's heads, you are basically dealing with their own demons that are holding them back and being very negative on them. So that's what I think that is really mature about this game. That yes, on the outside, it looks like a kid's game and it looks like a person over 10 can enjoy it. But when you certainly go down to the meat of this game and go and play it, you figure out that is much more than that, and the story is amazing in this game. It keeps you hooked. The psychic powers are the best thing about the gameplay in Psychonauts. Yes, Raz has melee attacks, but they're very simple and basically nothing to remember. But the psychic powers are where the game shines in terms of gameplay. Powers from lighting something on fire, levitating, telekinesis, and more. There's a lot of great powers in this game, and what I really like is the boss fights, because the boss fights, you really do have to use these powers, and it involves some sort of thinking. It's not just a button mashing fest or anything like that. You really have to think to get through some of the boss fights in these games, and the platforming is great, and the levels are very well made, and they really make use of your powers and Raz's ability to be a great acrobat and move around in the world very fluently. You can also collect arrowheads, which is a form of currency that you can spend to buy more stuff at the camp store. And there's other collectibles, so if you're into that sort of stuff, there should be enough to keep you busy. Now you collect figments, and after you collect a certain amount of figments, you rank up. And at different ranks, you get new powers. So you get the feeling that there's always something to work towards, whether you're a collectible hunter or you want to get the highest rank. The gameplay in Psychonauts is very great, and the levels are very well made. So to me, it's not perfect by all means, but it's very fluent, and with the combination of great platforming, great powers, and great levels that are very well made and an interesting story, the gameplay in Psychonauts is something that should keep you hooked from beginning to end. Now, sound and atmosphere are very important in the game. They can make or break a game. If the sound and atmosphere in the game is very weak, then it could really break my enjoyment of the game. But luckily, Psychonauts does a very good job with the sound and atmosphere. Every character delivers their voice very well, from the main characters to even the side characters like Dogen. Dogen's a personal favorite of mine because even though he has a brief appearance in the game, his lines really crack me up, especially in the beginning. The relationships between the characters are very well, and it really draws you into the game. And the game has an atmosphere like no other. Even from the beginning, you can see that this art design is like no other. It's weird, it's odd, but it's very unique and very intriguing. And the levels are very great. And one thing that's great about the levels is once you jump into one person to another person's mind, it's really different. There are no two levels that are the same. And it really deals with different personalities and different character traits that really make the levels in this game. And it's very intriguing to find out what's going on in these people's minds. And I have to repeat it again because Invader Zim is one of my favorite childhood shows. That the person that plays Raz is a person that played Zim on Invader Zim. I just wanted to repeat that fact because it's very awesome. But overall, the sound and the atmosphere is one thing, unique. And that's what games are missing. You know, a lot of games just try to be knockoffs of other games or have certain elements from other games to be familiar to the crowd. This game was not, I was never familiar with anything in this game. There was nothing that made me say, oh well, this is from this or this is from another game. This game is unique all on its own, and it could truly be one of them games that say, I'm one of a kind and there's nothing else that's like me out there. That's what Psychonauts is. And it's very awesome. Overall, I enjoyed the hell out of Psychonauts. It's a unique, one-of-a-kind experience that is missing from a lot of games today. But unfortunately, being unique doesn't always mean you're going to sell a lot, as Psychonauts did not sell a lot of copies. And will we ever see a sequel to this awesome game? I don't know. The research that I did to see if there would be a sequel, basically what I got out of it is the chances are slim, and while the chances may be there, as of right now, there's not really high hopes for a sequel, and that's a shame. I hope Tim Schafer could really get the backing to make a sequel to this game, because it's very unique and it's a very one-of-a-kind game. Now, thanks for watching another episode of Retrospective Gaming, and if you haven't subscribed, why not check out the rest of my content and consider subscribing and supporting me by hitting that subscribe button. And have a great day, and hope you enjoyed this episode. Peace.